Humility is knowing exactly who you are. Without, making yourself up to be bigger than you are, making yourself up to be smaller than you are. It's exactly who you are right now. It's a state of acceptance. And if there's a judgment there, there's no acceptance for that thing. If you place a judgment on something, if you're still fighting against that thing, if it's still something that angers you or frustrates you, instead of you finding peace that, that's there too, and that's fine, you have not attained humility. To accept that you're flawed, right? To accept that something happened to you, to accept that you didn't react in the best way possible. All these things require a level of peace to accept it. It doesn't mean you settle for that character and you have to live with that for the rest of your life. But it does require acceptance that it's there. And there should be an amount of peace when that acceptance comes. Because it is our identification with falsehoods, with things that are not true. It's our identification with finite experiences. It's our identifications with our egos. It's our identifications with volatile emotions that add that impurity into our experience of life. So it's not so much the fact that you have a particular character that is the problem. And you shouldn't see it as the one problem that you have is to have that character. It's the lack of acceptance to have that character that causes the problem, because that is coming from a huge place of fear, of anger, of, frustration, resistance within your own self, with it, resistance within your own heart and your own mind. You are fighting and at odds with yourself. And we know the nature of finite experiences, the nature of the ego, the nature of things when it turns into this pure, perfect reality and condenses into separativity, right? Are the things that are supercharged with individual finite experience. You make an event in your life out to be much more traumatizing or much worse than it actually is. Suddenly that becomes a defining character for who you are and what you take with you into the next moment. Not because of the experience itself, but because of what you put into it. Because that impurity of your perception, your interpretation of the experience added a layer of impurity that charged it and made it into more of your ego self. Anytime you engage with life in a way that creates more frustration for you, that creates more anger, that creates more sorrow, that creates more depression, that creates more fear. I'm not just talking about, going out and doing things in the world. I'm I've mentioned this many times before, the things that perpetuate and create your reality are very much not just your physical actions that you take, but the mental and emotional modifications you have for that experience.